how real do you consider the risk when it comes to quantum computers hacking today's encryption? How do you consider the urgency when it comes to the quantum safe race?
Yeah, so everybody is talking about this
Yeah.
quantum Q day, right? When it's going to happen and quantum computer will be able to break encryption. Actually, we are seeing already some examples of quantum computing or quantum annealing breaking, RSA at some point. But everybody's saying it's down the road, maybe 2 years, 3 years, maybe 4 years, right? But I always say the urgency is now because there are other technology depending on what kind of data you have. The long-lived data, there is this thing that called harvest now and decrypt later. So even though you can break it later, you can harvest it now and still you can break it later and the security will be compromised. So I think the urgency is right now, actually. Actually, I was saying it yesterday, right?
Yeah.
So that's the kind of what we believe that quantum, safe technology is really key, understanding how you're ready for that.
Yeah, in that process, what are you seeing as kind of the key challenges for these people in validation, all of that, maybe combining that with what the early adopters are really focusing on in the process?
So the good thing is that there are organizations like NIST have been looking for ways to beat that, and then different algorithms, we call them post-quantum cryptography algorithms, PQC, that can actually help mitigate that. These are algorithms, mathematical algorithms like crystal dilithium, for example, that can actually work and can be hard for a quantum computer to break. But this is one part. There is also the other one, which quantum key distribution using the physical layer, kind of quantum phenomena like photon entanglement to actually create very secure end-to-end. But the problem is none of these technology will be an end-to-end solution. And the weakest point in your end-to-end makes the whole thing not secure, right? So the testing of this kind of hybrid scenario from physical layer, quantum key distribution, to understanding how key management system works with that, how you can start using PQC with the layer on top, using these kind of things. So we see this hybrid test, right, of quantum key distribution, PQC, traditional, even classical cryptography, working together and testing the end-to-end. Not only about security, but performance, because you can make it the most secure, but you don't have enough performance to actually send traffic on it, right?
Yeah.
So there are a lot of different layers of doing that, and that is what VIAVI is doing, trying to bring this end-to-end hybrid test that could look at where you're secure and also what performance you're going to be meeting when you do this, and how you can optimize that as well.
Yeah. So the technology and the solutions are one piece, and then collaboration is obviously another. So can you talk a bit about, the standardizations and how you consider industry collaboration in all of this?
Right, so definitely there are a lot of different standard bodies. And again, there is some fragmentation here because there are standard bodies looking at PQC, there are standard bodies looking at QQD, there are standard bodies looking at key management system. So we are promoting this ecosystem, bringing everybody. So we did a workshop last year in Singapore where we're bringing the standard bodies. We'll also bring in the users community, right? And this user community is not just operators. These are, financial institutions, government, and all of them. Have to bring them together to understand what you need to do from a standard point of view, but also from, realistically understanding how you're going to manage this. Because this is not just, here is the standard implemented. This concept of crypto agility, this is going to continuously be moving. It's a dynamic thing, right? So we are trying to also change the mindset of people who are using that. This is not one time. You need to actually understand the agility of your data. Where is your data? Inventory your assets, right? And this is going to be a new operational risk that you have to continuously manage and monitor as well. So not just testing, you have to be actually understanding it. So the ecosystem plays a very important role, and we're bringing all of them together. We're opening this quantum safe technology hub where you can actually bring, users, standard bodies, vendors, right, operators. Together we test different use cases and see what are the blueprints that you need to look at.
Yeah, so I want to close this out with a look ahead. You mentioned, the quantum dangers here now, the harvest now, decrypt later. Looking ahead 10, 15 years, where do you see the quantum safe space and just the quantum space being? And then maybe a kind of side B to that, what do you think operators and players need to be doing now to prepare?
So I say, first of all, start now.
Yeah.
Start now understanding your inventory of assets and the lifespan of your data. Because if lifespan of your data is more than 10 years, you are in danger already, right? So you need to understand that. Build the the awareness of where you are, build your inventory. Also start building the process that you're going to live there. But I also say that there is a lot of innovation that needs to happen. I even believe AI is going to play a very important role in that, because there is a lot of evolution that needs to happen in quantum key distribution, in PQC, in the mix between them, an idea of how to optimize in real time. So there is a lot of process. But I believe in 10, 15 years of now, we're going to see really safe quantum cryptography. We're going to see this hybrid system. We're going to see this being integrated at the edge and with devices, also with communication. So I am very optimistic that this is a problem that people are looking at, and it will be really open for innovation, and you're going to see a lot of implementation very soon.
Well, Sameh, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.